anywhere between 8 to 10,000 yen. Ain't cheap, but it sure is good. You've seen the movie Lost in Translation. Bob Harris actually drinks this stuff when he's on the photo shoot, but they probably got tea in the glass instead of real whiskey. Later in the bar, when he's talking to the young lass, he's drinking some Suntory whiskey, but he could be drinking any number of Suntory whiskeys, and I will be reviewing them all. You can watch the review with your very own peepers. So, if you want to be interested in the kind of whiskey I like to drink, I've started the reviews with the Suntory Hibiki 17 whiskey. Okay, it's a nice drop of whiskey. There's different kinds of hibiki, which means harmony in Japanese. Hibiki, alright? They use a number of different blends, are at least 17 years old, okay? Suntory also makes some other hibiki blends. There's 12-year-old ones, there's 17, and there's 20-something, and there's a 30 as well. Lots of other whiskeys. I'll be reviewing them all, Yamazaki and all the other brands. Make sure you listen to my review, and if you're a big fan of Lost in Translation, you've unlocked a secret as to the whiskey that was being drunk in that movie by Mr. Bob Harris. Well, I hope you enjoyed the review, and if you do, make sure you rate, subscribe, and vote me up. Okay, now it's time to talk about bookstores in Tokyo. What is the greatest bookstore in Tokyo? What are your favorite bookstores? Well, there's quite a few. This week I'm going to talk about a bookstore located in Toshima. This bookstore is called Junkudo, alright, Junkudo. I will be posting this as a separate audio for people to listen to, and it will have its own thread on the Tokyo Forum podcast. For now, if you're going to post your favorite bookstore, you can do so under the podcast thread itself. Or on the YouTube channel there, right where underneath the main part. Now, this Junkudo bookstore is quite enormous. It actually has about 8 or 9 escalators in there. It's huge. I think it's about 8, 9, or 10 stories. It is a big bookstore. Okay, you can't miss it. Big green building right next to a Starbucks. About 2 minutes walk from the, I guess you'd say it's the south exit of the Ikebukuro station on the east side, right? On the east side of the Ikebukuro, it's Seibu, okay? And this is the center of Toshima. Okay, if you listen to my other podcasts about retiring and being successful in Japan and living and being successful as an English teacher in Japan, I talk about different districts of Tokyo, and this is one of the biggest. It's in Toshima, it's called Ikebukuro, right? It's the second busiest train station in the world. A lot of people. Okay, like around 2.71 million people go there every single day. Alright, a lot of people. Well, this bookstore is in a good location, right? Because a lot of people go and buy their books and sit next door in the Starbucks, and they listen to the music, and they love reading their book in the Starbucks, enjoying the Starbucks coffee. And actually, the street in which the bookstore is situated has about 5 or 6 different cafes, right? Like St. Mark's, Choco Crow. And I'll be reviewing these cafes for you in a subsequent podcast, because you can forget what it's like living in a western city. Tokyo has about 5 or 6 different huge coffee chains, okay? And that's not even counting the cyber cafes, right? So it's got a St. Mark's, it's got a Veloce coffee, which is quite famous. It's got a Starbucks. It may even have an Excelsior coffee, alright? It's got a lot of different coffee stores. And at the very end of the street You even got a cafe which is branded with Occitana. Now, Occitana is a French company. They make a lot of soaps, fancy stuff for the ladies to go have a bath and lather themselves up with all the fancy soaps, okay? So, it's got a lot of cafes, and at the very end of the street, got this really interesting one coming from France, alright? Well, this bookstore is big, right? A couple of minutes walk from the edge of the station. You can get any book you want. It's got a lot of English books in there, a lot of different language books if you want them. It's got all the escalators. It's got you don't have to worry about going up and down the stairs. You can just let your feet rest and go up and down the escalators all day long. Got a lot of different gizmos and gadgets in there. You can buy little ukuleles, you can buy little Leonardo da Vinci telescopes and machinery and inventions. It's got these really cool series of things you can buy. When you buy a book, you go all the way down to the bottom level, and there's a whole army of bookstore people there. I mean, I'm talking about hundreds of them, dozens, maybe even dozens even. And they're all there ready to help you when you want to buy your book. And what you do is you bring your book to the counter, you pay for your book in the yen. You gotta use yen, alright? Pay for your book. I guess you can use a card or the yen, and then they wrap it up in a nice Junkido cover. It makes it look real neat and real smart. No one knows what you're reading. That's what's so cool about it, right? So you're at the cafe reading your book in Junkido, and no one knows what you're reading. All they can see is a beautiful paper cover there called Junkido. And that will keep your book nice and spick and span and nice and brand new. So you can be reading your book for weeks and weeks and months and days even, and then later on you can take the cover off and your book is brand spanking new, all spick and span. That's what makes this bookstore one of the greatest bookstores in all of Tokyo and all of Japan. The interesting thing about the Junkido is Junkido actually comes from Kobe, right? It don't come from Tokyo. But the biggest one they got is in Tokyo. The other interesting thing about it is it ain't in Shinjuku, which is where usually all the other big bookstores are. No siree. This one ain't even near a big university. The nearest university is Rikyo, which is a good 10-minute walk away, right? And ain't even the biggest university in Tokyo. No. But this bookstore is in the second kind of biggest train station precinct, a really big part of Tokyo that a lot of people actually know about, right? And it's pretty good, because what you got is, you got a lot of books. You got a lot of helpful stuff.